Hey everyone, it's Chris again. Let's try and focus this. Come on. Focus on the little dude. That does not look good. Maybe if I zoom in a little bit, it'll okay, it's starting to focus now. Alright, this is my Space Battle game. Still working on a name. I have kind of like a level transition working right now. I mean, it doesn't look good, but it works. I also have a death scene and a bunch of new enemies that I want to show you. So let me just fly around and kill stuff. And if you guys have any ideas for enemies, I'm starting to mess around with formations and different types of enemies besides the UFOs. So please let me know if you have any ideas. I also need to come up with some more power-ups. Right now the only power-up is a weapon upgrade. So I definitely need to improve that. I also need ideas on music. If you know any free music that I can get, I'd appreciate it. I'm going to look into the possibility of using, not free music. If I push A, I go to the next round. But again, I could use some help with that because I am just tone deaf. I am not good at picking music. Or sound effects. These sound effects all came with the game except for the death sound that I came up with. It's like a bunch of trombones going doo doo doo. But let's kill stuff. Maybe next level I'll die right away so you can hear it. So this level is called More UFOs, and there are a couple more. And there's some of the harder types too. There's the little blue guys that shoot, the green ones that sprint at you, and then kind of rotate and pause and then sprint at you again, and the yellow ones that move faster than the red ones. Whoa, that was close. Anytime it zooms in, it means you kind of had a close call, or would have had a close call. So it zooms in to save you and slows the game down. I made it so the game stays slowed down while you're zoomed in. I think that makes it a lot easier to play. Otherwise you zoom out and you could be killed while zooming out. So that helps a lot. I don't know if the zoom in has the slow down too, but I think it does. Like during that quick zoom in. So round 3, UFOs are boring. So now we got a new enemy type coming out. Oh, where you at? I made the enemy sounds only play when they're really close to you, because I didn't like the enormous number of sounds being made at once. It was really annoying. So their little noise they just made will only be when they're near you. One strategy I'm figuring out is if you stay near the enemies while you're zoomed in, you keep the zoom in going. Oh, holy crap! You keep the zoom in going, and that enables you to, use it to your advantage. But as soon as you get a little bit away from them, it turns off. So you have to be careful, not to have it turn off at the worst possible time when you're like surrounded. Oh, power up! Oh, I gotta get that. Yes, zoom in. Thank you. I love that. I mean, I kind of want to make it an on-use ability, but I like it as something you can't control. That just double power up. Oh my gosh, that was close. I was so excited about the power-ups, I almost killed myself. I think that's the end, though. Die! Alright, now there's one more level that I've made so far. It's called Chain Gang. All these levels are pretty easy because they're early levels. And then eventually you're going to start getting like more complicated patterns of enemies, possibly even bosses. And I do kind of want to make this multiplayer. It's been my strategy for X-Blade for a while now. So I will make an attempt at that. I need to figure out the best way to do it though. Because these enemies are kind of... Oh, I missed the power-up! These enemies are kind of complicated in terms of the amount of variables associated with them. So I got to work on that. And the sheer number of enemies are pretty high. So in Loot or Die, you only had 30 possible enemies. In this game, you have 100. And they're way more complicated than the Loot or Die enemies. So I really have to figure out how I'm going to do that for multiplayer. I may just make less enemies on the screen in multiplayer and give them more life. but I haven't decided how I'm going to do it yet. I almost died. Actually, I'm going to get killed just so you can hear the sound effect that I have right now. And then it should... Alright, cool. I wasn't sure if I programmed that right. Alright, went to round 4. Now I want to make like an overhead world that you are in. Like a galaxy or something that you fly around. You pick the world you're going to play at. So think like Star Fox, where you pick stages. You know, and then you move from stage to stage. Or like One Figure Death Punch. That kind of idea. I do like the idea of resetting your character every level. So that you're not powerful all the time. But I need to figure out a better way of increasing the difficulty as the level goes. Because right now the enemies kind of get spawned on the same pattern for each level. So I need to change that. You know, in this level they're being spawned every certain number of seconds in these groups. So obviously it's the early levels, so it's going to be easy, it's going to be predictable. But in later levels I'll have them last a lot longer, and I'll have different types of enemies being sent at you in different types of waves, you know, with difficulty increasing as you go, instead of the way it is now where it's kind of predictable. But yeah, if you have any ideas for formations, I'm thinking about doing like a flying V, and you know, some like bee-like enemies, like the Protoss carriers in StarCraft, the way they fly around like a hub or something. All right, guys, if you have any ideas, let me know. Again, music, you know, more enemies, formations, all that stuff. You know, multiplayer ideas, just let me know. Good luck and have fun.